sum it all up, it was I came from high school. Well, from middle school, I went to one high school.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed there for 2 years. I played JV, junior varsity, for 2 years. And like right after, I felt like I was doing great there, you know what I'm saying? And the coaches loved me. Everybody loved me. The varsity coaches loved me. They brought me up at the end of the year. But then after the season ended, the JV season ended, and my dad sat me down. He said, "Do you feel like Coral Springs High School can take you to the next level?" And I said, to be honest, I'm not sure. I don't think they can.
Mm-hmm.
From previous players that were great that didn't really go anywhere, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I don't think that they can. I think they're too small of a school. People really don't look at them that much or whatever. And from that conversation, we just started looking at schools. We started looking into different schools. We got my name out there from a couple of different coaches, talking to different coaches. And the first school that I went to go, the coach that reached out to me was Pinecrest.
Mm-hmm.
I went down there and talked to Pinecrest, went to a couple of their practice. I didn't practice or anything, but went down there and seen what they were about. And then came back and, we'll see. So then the next coach that came and talked to me was St. Thomas. And if you're from South Florida, you know St. Thomas. St. Thomas is going to get you wherever you want to go.
Correct.
So I went down there and talked to him, and he was like, yeah, we would love to have you. That summer, I actually enrolled. I was enrolled in St. Thomas.
Wow.
I was enrolled in St. Thomas, and then a Douglas coach came and talked to my father, the athletic director, actually. And then, like, my decision, I ended up going to Douglas. I ended up leaving St. Thomas. I didn't never start classes. I was just enrolled. Right. So we left there. Only the decision was because St. Thomas, they said I can only play football, or they can only guarantee me a spot on the football team. So then when Douglas came, they said, we want you to play everything: football, basketball, run track, and you don't have to worry about anything. Everything you'll be fine. So I decided to go to Douglas. Douglas was great. Douglas was a great school. And I did well there. My name started making a little bubble, a little noise, but it wasn't really where it was at. Cause my junior year, they only played me on defense. I only played corner because they had senior receivers. So I only played corner. So my name, I didn't want to play corner like that at the next level. So my name really wasn't still out there, scouting wise, as receiver. So then I did well my junior year. But then my senior year, a new coach came in and he brought me back to receiver. So, and then I went crazy. I started going crazy. Right. Every game I was scoring 2-3 touchdowns, having over 100 yards every game. And then the end of my senior year, there was coaches that came, but it was like small time coaches or small schools, Marshall, Akron. It was like the lower tier D1 or D1 AA and stuff like that.
Right.
Pulling me out of class, talking to me. But then,
how was that experience? Having to pull you out of class, like what was going on through your mind?
To be honest, it was crazy because I've never really seen it happen like that. Like college, like when I would come in from practice, I would have more college letters, a lot of letters started rolling in. After every practice, I'll come back to my locker and I'll have another letter. but we all know letters don't really mean anything because they're sending those out to everybody. At the time, we didn't know that. At the time we were, oh, Ohio State wants me and Auburn wants me and da-da-da, you know what I'm saying? So, but then when the college, like they were actually pulling me out of class, it was always me and another guy was pretty good, me and another receiver. They're always pulling us out of class, talking to us and going over what they would like and what they wanted and what they're looking for, and that we fit their scheme, their offensive scheme and stuff like that. So yeah, that's that. Let me see. Throughout this whole time though, Douglas is well known for their education, you know what I'm saying? And my father was always on me about education and having my grades right, because they need that. They need it. That was crucial on their decision. If it was between you and another athlete that are pretty close in athletic wise, they will always go with the student athlete, the guy that made sure their grades were right and that they will be able to pass classes at the collegiate level and not just drop out or not be able to be eligible to play, you know what I'm saying? So my dad always talked to me about that. So my grades were always great. I finished with a 3.8.
Wow.
I finished with a 3.8. It was really because I started well. I started at Coral Springs and I jumped out the first 2 semesters, my freshman and sophomore year. I had like straight A's, 1B or something like that, and I jumped out like a 4.2, 4.3 or something like that. Some outrageous, but nobody ever believed it. But when I got to Douglas and my grades stayed where it was, and when colleges started to come, that was really big. Like, oh, you're a really student athlete, so I know you will do fine when you get to the college level and academically, you know what I'm saying? So
as far as the college level, what was the transition from college to, from high school to college? Let us know, like, what school did you went with? What was the deciding factor? Let us know what college you went to coming out playing sports.
Coming out of high school, just because I didn't have big names yet, right? I didn't have really solid big D1s. So just because my grades were so high, Harvard was talking to me the whole year. Harvard was talking to me the whole year. And when they seen my ACT, I got a 19 my first time. They said that wasn't high enough for them. So they said we have an alternative route that we place kids at the prep school. Never heard of prep school in my life before they brought it up, the opportunity to go to a prep school. So, but once they broke it down, it was like going to a JUCO so you can get rerouted, or you know what I'm saying, you can keep playing football. But a prep school is basically, when they broke it down, I was like, you can continue to play, you can continue to get footage. It was like an extra year of high school. Gotcha. And I felt like that's all I needed was one more year. There's a lot of kids out here, like, if I had one more year, I know it'll probably be a breakout season for me. And I know other bigger schools would come. So my deciding factor to go to the prep school was, let me get another year. I'm gonna take their opportunity and their offer to send me to the prep school in Connecticut. So I went to Connecticut out of high school and went there for a year. That was my first time being away from home. And yeah, trust me, you definitely get homesick. You don't know anybody. But at the end of the day, I was fine. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I know what I was here for, and I know what I needed to get done. So throughout the year, I played football, I played basketball there too, and the end of that year, because basically you graduate again, you graduate high school again from a prep school.
Gotcha.
So I graduated, and bigger schools started coming, and then on my deciding factor onto Colorado State, I took a visit out there. I fell in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
Fell in love with the campus. I fell in love with the people. I fell in love with the scenery. I fell in love with the environment. But my deciding factor was every school that came, they were always telling me, "Oh yeah, it'll be you and 4 other receivers that they're bringing in, 500-600 receivers that they're bringing in," and then, or they would already have like very young receivers on the roster already. I went through every roster that all the coaches that came, I went through every roster, and a lot of them always already had young receivers. So when Colorado State came and I looked at their roster, they didn't have many young receivers. They had a lot of older receivers, junior and senior year receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if I come in, even if I have to sit for a year and let those guys graduate, this will be my best opportunity to get on the field the fastest. So that's how I decided on Colorado State. My transition into Colorado State, so I was coming out of high school. I went to Connecticut, and then right from Connecticut, I flew to Colorado, and being let me see, that was a summer. We started summer conditioning and the weightlifting program and stuff like that, and it was great. It was a great transition. I've been through it already, so
Right.
I was already comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I was already comfortable in being away from home and being away from friends and family, and now I'm just here to play football and go to school.
I got a question for you. Is it colder in Colorado or Connecticut?
It's a different type of cold.
All right.
Different type of cold.
Okay.
The Connecticut cold is like a wet, rainy, all the time cold. Colorado is more dry. It was just if it rains in Connecticut, it's gonna snow.
Mm-hmm.
If it rains in Colorado, it's not gonna snow. So it was more slush, you know what I'm saying, the slushy type of cold. Gotcha. But other than that, for coming from Florida, cold is cold, period. Right. And once it drops down under 30 degrees, you're freezing regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Being a Florida boy going to another state, how was it seeing snow for the first time? I don't know if you saw it already.
Actually, it wasn't my first time because I actually was born in Ohio.
Okay.
But I moved down to Florida when I was like 1 year old. So I didn't see snow when I was born, but I moved back in 2nd grade. And that's when I started playing football. I started playing football in Ohio in 2nd grade. Mm-hmm. But I was only there for 1 year, and then we moved back down. So I saw snow in Colorado, but I was young, and then I didn't see it ever again until I was 18, 19, you know what I'm saying? So I've seen it, but it was like a faint memory, but I knew it was cold. And snow was amazing, you know what I'm saying? So I hated the cold, but I still hate the cold.
Yeah.
Playing in it's a different animal.